Assalamualaikum. The general pathology practical which we are going to discuss today is about cellular adaptations. Cells may adapt by undergoing changes in size, number and type. These changes occur singly or in combination. Normal cellular adaptation occurs in response to an appropriate stimulus and ceases once the need for adaptation has ceased. Cellular adaptations to injury. There are 5 cellular adaptations to injury: atrophy, hypertrophy, hyperplasia, metaplasia and dysplasia. Atrophy is the decrease in the cellular size. Hypertrophy is an increase in the cellular size. Hyperplasia is an increase in the number of cells. Metaplasia is replacement of one type of cell with another, and dysplasia is deranged cellular growth. Atrophy. Atrophy is the decrease in cell size due to decrease in workload or stimulus. Change is adaptive and reversible. Cause include disuse, denervation, loss of endocrine stimulation, inadequate nutrition, or ischemia or decreased blood flow. Types include physiological like thymus atrophy, uterus after parturition; pathological denervation atrophy, form of disuse atrophy that occurs in the muscles of paralyzed limb. Disuse atrophy, there is reduction in the skeletal muscles used like in muscles of extremities that have been encased in plaster cast. Ischemic atrophy seen in kidney and heart. Lack of endocrine stimulation, vaginal, endometrial and breast atrophy after menopause. Malnutrition atrophy seen in starvation. Discussing the gross features of atrophy. Here you can see grossly the affected heart organ is decreased in size. It appears soft, flabby. The color is pale and the capsule wrinkled. Microscopically, the cells in the affected organs are smaller in size and there is increased spaces between the muscle fibers. Here is a diagram showing the normal smooth muscles and the atrophied smooth muscles. Hypertrophy is an increase in the cell size and with it an increase in the amount of functioning tissue mass. The types include physiological, there is an increase in the muscle mass associated with exercise. Pathological can be adaptive and compensatory. Adaptive hypertrophy, there is thickening of the bladder from long continued obstruction of urinary outflow. Myocardial hypertrophy, that results from valvular heart disease or hypertension. Compensatory hypertrophy, enlargement of a remaining organ or tissue after portion has been surgically removed. Discussing the gross features of hypertrophy. Here you can see the normal heart. Grossly in hypertrophy, there is characteristically asymmetric with disproportionate septal thickening, particularly at the confluence of the anterior septum and anterior free wall. Microscopically, the cardiomyocytes are hypertrophied with abundant eosinophilic cytoplasm and box-shaped nuclei. Myocyte display basal forms with Y-shaped branching, frequent side-to-side junctions or a characteristic whorled appearance usually around a central fibrous core. Myocardial architecture is disorganized with bundles of cardiomyocytes arranged at perpendicular and oblique angles to each other. Here is a diagram showing the normal myocytes and this is the diagram showing the hypertrophic myocytes. Hyperplasia is an increase in the number of cells in an organ or tissue. It occurs in tissues with cells that are capable of mitotic division such as the epidermis, intestinal epithelium and glandular tissue. Physiological, as the breast and uterine enlargement during pregnancy. Pathological, endometrial hyperplasia, benign prostatic hyperplasia and skin warts. Discussing the gross features of hyperplasia. Here you can see endometrial hyperplasia resulting from increased estrogen. With hyperplasia, there is an increase in the cell numbers to produce an increase in the tissue size. Microscopically, you can see irregular dilated glands with large lumens, variation in gland size, nuclear atypia with loss of basal nucleus stratification, nuclear size variation, nuclear cell rounding, nuclear lacking atypical uniform columnar nuclei, hyperchromasia. Here is a diagram of benign prostatic hyperplasia. You can see hyperplastic glands, variable size glands with papillary foldings, glands lined by double layered epithelium, inner columnar and outer cuboidal. Corpora malacia can be seen, and this is the fibromuscular stroma. Metaplasia. Metaplasia represents a reversible change in which one adult cell type, epithelial or mesenchymal, is replaced by another adult cell type, reversible on withdrawal of stimulus. Examples of metaplasia is the adaptive substitution of stratified squamous epithelial cells for the ciliated columnar epithelial cells in the trachea and large airways of a habitual cigarette smoker. And here is another example of Barrett's esophagus. It is a pre-malignant condition that occurs in the esophagus of people with chronic gastroesophageal reflux disease. It is characterized by a normal squamous epithelium in the lower esophagus transforming into columnar lined epithelium. The types of metaplasia may be epithelial, example seen in bronchial, gastric, cervical epithelium, mesenchymal, example fractured bone. Metaplasia results in loss of some function. Persistent stimulation leads to dysplasia, which may result in carcinoma. Examples are epithelial metaplasia, change from columnar to squamous metaplasia, seen in respiratory epithelium of habitual smokers and in vitamin A deficiency cervix, excretory duct of salivary glands, pancreas and bile duct in response to stress. Then there is squamous to columnar metaplasia. Example include Barrett's esophagus. Then there is connective tissue metaplasia, formation of cartilage, bone or adipose tissue in those areas that do not contain them. Example myositis ossificans after intramuscular hemorrhage, bone fracture. Here you can see the gross features of Barrett's mucosa. Barrett's mucosa is usually represented by a well-defined area of salmon pink velvety mucosa similar to the adjacent gastric mucosa. It has irregular margins and may contain irons of residual squamous pearly white esophageal mucosa or may be ulcerated. It is usually limited to the lower third of the esophagus, but in severe cases it may extend to the middle and upper esophagus. Microscopically, the esophageal squamous epithelium is replaced by columnar epithelium of intestinal type with goblet cells, two goblet cells, rounded shape, clear to blue cytoplasmic mucin, randomly scattered mucin usually indents nucleus. Here you can see the examples of metaplasia. This is the respiratory epithelium with the change of columnar to squamous epithelium. This is columnar to squamous metaplasia. Here's another example of Barrett's esophagus, changing of squamous epithelium to columnar. This is squamous to columnar metaplasia. Dysplasia. Dysplasia is characterized by deranged cell growth of a specific tissue that results in cells that vary in size, shape, and organization. It is potentially reversible after irritating cause has been removed. Dysplasia is strongly implicated as a precursor of cancer. Here you can see the gross features of dysplasia. The lungs are shown in the early stages. They are firm, heavy, dark red, congested, and in later stages they are firm tan with showing pleural nodularity. Microscopically, here you can see a normal cervical epithelium and then which is changing into dysplastic epithelium. You can see pleomorphism, change in the size and shape of both cells and nuclei. There is increase in the nuclear cytoplasmic ratio, hyperchromatic or vesicular nuclei with prominence of nucleoli increased and especially presence of atypical mitotic figures, loss of polarity and intact basement membrane. Here's a diagram showing dysplasia. This is a hyperparakeratorized epithelium. There is nuclear hyperchromatism, connective tissue with inflammatory cell infiltration, and basal cell hyperplasia. Anaplasia. In anaplasia, the cells differentiate to a more immature embryonic form. Malignant tumors are characterized by anaplastic cell load. Here you can see the microscopic features of anaplasia. This is a normal nuclear cytoplasmic ratio in a normal epithelium. This is changing and there is variation in the size and shapes of cells and nuclei showing pleomorphism. There is hyperchromatic nuclei and coarse chromatin. There is loss of polarity. Thank you. All students are required to draw the diagram.